For some reason, when most people get in front of the camera for the first time, they start doing some very strange things. Things that in normal day conversation, we simply don't do. This is probably due to the fact that we can get very self-conscious when we're in front of the camera. We start wondering what to do with our hands or how we should stand, and in some severe cases, people even start doubting their own personality. So, here are some tips to keep your presenting strong. The first thing we need to avoid is travelling. This is when we keep stepping forwards and backwards, or it can be as simple as a change of weight from one leg to another. The problem is that it makes us look a bit uneasy or nervous, and the solution is very simple. Stand still or anchor yourself. Get into the habit of standing with your feet shoulder width apart. Have your weight distributed evenly over both legs and relax from the waist up. And you're ready to go. It's the same when you're sitting down. Sit upright, keep your bum still, and have a relaxed upper body. Now it sounds easy, doesn't it? But when there's lots of other things going on in your head, this is one of the first things that we get wrong. Next, keep your eyes on the lens. This gives the impression that you're talking directly to the person watching. If you look off to the side of the lens, even for a fraction of a second, you'll break the illusion. And if you keep doing it, like I'm doing now, you could make the people watching feel like they're missing out on something, or that there's something going on and they're not included. The last thing you want to do is make your audience feel left out. That's not to say that you never take your eyes off the lens. When presenting, the general rule is, if the audience can see it or they know that it's there, then you can look at it too. You're not excluding them. Another thing to bear in mind is to just talk to one person. Even though there might be thousands of people watching, you never refer to them as ladies and gentlemen or you lot at home. It breaks the illusion that you're just talking to that one person. Think of someone you know well and talk to them. In fact, some presenters will put a photo of their friend under the lens just to remind them to talk to one person. Up on 3 is another term you might hear when working in the industry. It refers to the time counts that you get at the beginning of a take or a program. The usual directions are like this. Stand by, and in 5, 4. And that's your cue. If we wait right up until this cue before we smile or get into the right frame of mind that we spoke about earlier, the camera will just catch that transition and will look fake right from the start. To avoid this, make sure you're smiling on or before the 3 count. It should look like this and not this. It's the same at the end too. Keep that smile until you hear cut or clear. You might be thinking that all these tips are fairly small points and that nobody will really notice if we take a step forward or backwards, or if we glance off the lens once in a while. Well, for a short piece to camera, you're probably right. But if we're going to be working for longer periods, and some channels have their presenters working for up to 3 hours at a time, the audience will start to notice. So let's get into the habit of doing it right. Anchor yourself. If you want to move, then move with purpose. What we're trying to avoid is an unconscious swaying or stepping forwards and back. Secondly, talk to just one person. Try to imagine the camera as a friend or relative and talk to them. Avoid phrases like you lot at home or everybody watching. Always look at the lens. Remember, never to make your audience feel left out. The golden rule is, if the audience can see it or they know that it's there, then you can look at it too. And lastly, for this section, up on 3. Make sure that when the camera finds you, you're already in the right frame of mind.